bro. Nice run.
Okay. I had the most insane, one of the most insane travel nights of my life last night. It seemed like it was very smooth right up until I got to Birmingham, but first I went to Chipotle, and I drove an extra 20 minutes to go to a Chipotle just to get some dinner at 11 p.m., 10:30 p.m., and walk in, the guy's like, we don't have chicken, we don't have steak, we don't have pico, we don't have cheese, we don't have lettuce, we don't have basically 3/4 of the thing on the menu. And as I'm standing there trying to decide what to do, like person after person is walking in for like Uber pickup or whatever, and he's having to tell them this, and they've already paid on the app. I felt bad for the guy, obviously, and myself. So I bought a salad and a loaf of bread at some hummus at Walmart. So I got checked in to the room last night. The computer systems were down, but they gave me a key card and they wrote my name down on a piece of paper. Got to my room, and just as I'm about to fall asleep, the night manager opens the door to let in somebody else who thinks that is their room. I got to go downstairs at midnight and prove that I didn't sneak into the hotel room or something. And yeah, and I got back to sleep, went back to bed. Today I'm now on the way to the park. Luckily the park is real close, but I checked out of the hotel and I think I'm gonna be switching. Anyway, fun way to start the trip, but we're back on track. Let's go do some mountain biking.
It's good. It's great to be back here. I mean, I tell pretty much everybody who asks me about XTERRA that this is my favorite course, favorite race. What was it that Arthur said last year? He didn't like it because it was too mountain bikey, which is why I like it. It's very mountain bikey, almost entirely single track. Like it's very much like the trails that I ride back in Oregon. So I love it. I would come here a week early and stay a week after just to ride extra.
Feels good.
Tell me I'm weird, tell me I'll never get it. I guess I'm past the point of trying to fit in. Nobody told you that you had to like it. So carry on, feel free to stay. I don't care. I don't care. I really, really, really don't care.
All right. Some skin feels nice. Water feels nice. I think I could have a good swim. That's enough for today. Go find a new hotel. Really makes me want to do more of these. XTERRA Portland's just like this as well. Haven't done Victoria, haven't done Quebec, but I don't know, the vibe is like, I want to put out a blanket on the grass now and just like hang out and soak it in versus stress my brains out. Somebody just told me that Felix, he saw Felix giving a quote or something on a video that no American has a chance to win this. He might be right. But that gives just a little bit of extra motivation or excitement to try to get a little closer. We'll see. We will see. All right, the rain is here. It's day 2, and it's the day before the main race. So I don't really want to ride in the rain, but I do want to use my tires in the rain and get some confidence with my setup. These routes are going to be slippery.
The spotters would be riding on the wrong side of the road. It's hard to get.
Yeah. I keep trying to get a hold of DJI because I know I could sell 500 of those. You'll be able to fly your drone from over there, Robbie. Alright, so this is a great example of how being famous makes everything more complicated. Those guys are all still at the press conference, and we're going to get dinner.
Yes. Bada bang, bada
Yeah.
boom. Take
Alright, I hope this audio turns out okay. It's a little noisy, but this is my race experience, race report, race recap from XTERRA North American Championships. The last week and really like the last 2 months, I would say, have been rough. And rough is really just a representation of my training. My life has been incredible. I've been feeling the most excited that I have been about training when I'm able to, about TTL, about supporting Paula, and I just feel like every day I wake up and I'm so fired up to go to do the day. We couldn't really ask for more. But rough in terms of the amount of training and what's gone on is certainly the way I would describe the build up to this race. I had a little bit of an injury when we were down in Ventura. Drove home to Bend over the course of a couple days after getting over that. Had a little bit of time to train, and then went to St. Anthony's. Taped for that, did the best I could, and that took away from it was a lot of hip pain. I left St. Anthony's, went to St. George, supported Paula, got sick in the process off of the St. Anthony's race. Found myself once again 10 days out from a race with 1 week to train. Fast forward from that, like I said, week training went really well. Got here to Oak Mountain, and I just felt like the carpet had been completely ripped out from underneath me. I had kind of a rough travel night, then 2 more nights of the worst sleep that I've had in recent memory, and I just arrived at the start line feeling like a complete shell of a person. I slammed as much caffeine as I possibly could, but I just stood there feeling like I want to lay down. I'm gonna do everything I can. I'm going to fake this until something happens, maybe this will turn around any point in time. I'd been slamming food, doing my best to sleep and nap and lay down from the day that I got here, but I couldn't, it didn't come around in time.
3, 2, 1.
Dove into the water, like went out at my normal pace. Body just kind of slapped me across the face, said no. Luckily, there was a guy here from Canada, I can't remember, Harvey. I got on his feet, he took the lead on the swim. I was able to still have a pretty good swim time relative to the guys that, you know, how I normally swim relative to the contenders here in triathlon. But I wasn't able to push it. I think if I'd been really feeling on, maybe I could contribute to that pace and pushed it a little bit further, had a little bit more gap. But it just wasn't there. But I kept the pressure on the whole time, ran through transition as best as I could, had a great transition, got on the bike, started trying to push my, I would say, a little bit conservative race power, and it felt like maybe it was starting to come around, and I managed to make it all the way through all the technical section and everything until we got to the climbing road. It's probably about 20 minutes into the bike, 15 minutes into the bike, and still in the lead. And then we hit the bottom of that, and Felix Farissier, the guy who's the dominant force in XTERRA right now, from France, just came by me like incredible on this climb. Like, I look down, I'm doing 420 watts, and this guy's just like powering away. So obviously you attack when you pass somebody to make them feel extremely insufficient. It worked. I tried to go with it. I pushed as hard as I could. Again, I'm trying to fake it until something happens, fake it till you make it. And I maintained like eye contact to him plus like the 3 other guys that he was with for a few minutes before just like, again, body slapped me across the face. Like, you need to calm down or you will lay down. That's what it felt like. I went into a little bit of damage control. The cool thing with XTERRA racing is there's all this technical stuff. There's so many opportunities to like catch your breath, recollect yourself, and I just kind of kept repeatedly trying to like push the boundary a little bit, get something more out of myself, and I carried that all the way through the run, and I ended up getting 9th place, which is a result that I was initially very frustrated with. But I had one of the most complete feelings of I have wrung myself out of every last bit of energy that I have. I had the most intense feeling of that certainly that I can remember. It's one thing to like completely empty the tank right when you're feeling awesome and you feel like you have that space to go to, and it's another thing to like keep just bringing the towel, trying to get more gas out of the tank when there's not much there. But I'm honestly proud of what I did on the day, mentally and physically, with what I brought to the table. Even just putting aside all of the hip situation and the 1 week to train for it and all that stuff, just whatever went wrong with nutrition and sleep on this week. There have been times in my career where I did not hang on and fight as long as I did. So I'm proud of that. And then with regards to the result, like, if I look down this list of people, due to the way that the XTERRA World Cup circuit is structured now, all the best guys in the world go to all the races in the world now. You can just count as many of these races as you want towards your World Cup ranking, which is going to help you win the year-end bonus of points, the year-end bonus of money, ultimately. So all of these guys that were here are all the guys that are going to be at World Championships. It's not like there may have been like one major contender missing, but I was very close to being 9th in the world at XTERRA, which is better than the last time that I went to World Championships. So I take a little bit of hope away from that maybe with some proper preparation leading into my next race, whatever that might be, that I can get a little bit more out of myself. But I think the biggest takeaway for me, which is something that I hope that people can relate to, is that I look at my life and I look at all the decisions that I made leading into this. Yes, there were things that were out of my control, but going and supporting Paula in St. George, going to St. Anthony's and experiencing that race, even though TT biking is really not agreeing with my body right now, I'm glad I did that. I'm glad I went there. I'm glad I supported Paula. I'm glad that I'm working on things with TTL, and maybe that is taking a little bit of my energy or mental focus away from like getting the last 1% out of my body, but I wouldn't change it. And you need to, when you go into a race, knowing what you brought to the race, not say like, oh, I'm going to be happy with 6th or 5th or a 1:20 half marathon, and then throw that all out the window and forget about it when you get to the what happened in this race mentality, right? I think a lot of people it's easy for them to say like, oh, well, I really want to get 10th and that's a realistic goal. But then in your head, you're like, well, I want to win. Of course you want to win. We all like have this drive to win. And then just forget what you told yourself at the beginning when you were having a realistic conversation with yourself to set expectations. So I can't walk away from this being that upset. And I don't see that as, it's like a little bit of a scary thought. It's a scary feeling to be arriving slowly at this place of like, what do I have to give to the sport? What do I want to give to the sport? What has the sport given me? What can I get from it? And think, maybe showing up to races and knowing that I have slept, thought, lived, performance, and nothing else. That's not what I think I'm here to do. Which feels weird to say out loud, but I think I'm stoked on the whole ecosystem that's going on. And I took a couple pictures with kids who were there because they wanted to come see me race and they want to get into mountain biking. And I talked to multiple people who said, this is my first triathlon. This is not my first XTERRA. I talked to some of those people too, but this is my first triathlon. You make it look awesome. And that makes me so stoked. So I feel like that's what I'm meant to do. And I think the results that I've had, I've been in the sport for 24 years. And now I'm in this position where I can get people fired up and inspire people in a way that is not purely just going and winning races, So that's the takeaway. I don't know if that was a very good race recap. I think everybody should do an XTERRA. I think everybody should do things that challenge them, reflect, be fair to yourself. If you know that you can't train the same way as the guy who has no job or has like a job or like sold his company and can now train like a professional athlete, don't freaking beat yourself up. I'm being a great father and I'm being a great mother and I'm bringing stuff to the world, and this triathlon thing is fun. I love it. Get that out of it, And be good to yourself. Do what you can do and enjoy that for what it is. So. I've got some cool stuff coming up in the future, and I'm sitting here waiting to go into this coffee shop. So I'm gonna have a coffee and then I'm gonna go talk to these guys. Probably the coolest sponsor that Paula and I will ever have. And they've got some awesome stuff to show me. At the end of the day, I'm a little kid who likes toys and didn't want to have an office job. Couldn't ask for more. If you're still here, I'll see you next week.